Onslaught continuing to come at you on what is the $3,000 tournament, of course, kind of a filler tournament for the time being, in between the regular season, Haunter Season 3 ultimately coming to an end, and what will be the World Finals. Well, we needed something in between, and that's what this event brings us. So with that said, excited to be here. Of course, this is going to be taking place over these next 2 weeks. We already started things off this last Tuesday, where 4 of the teams, 2 different matches, they went at it. We have those results, and now we are looking for the other 4 teams to participate and get things kicked off on what is now the group stages of this event. You can find all the information on HauntTour.com. There is the tab for the Onslaught. Go to there, and you can check it out for yourself. With that said, a matchup from the group stages, we got SolC Esports going to be taking on the SolC Club here in a best-out-of-1 round-robin group stage format match here. So, again, you only play each other team once, 3 games in total throughout this week. The top 2 of the 4 teams we'll move on to the double elimination bracket stage where things definitely get pretty interesting. So, looking forward to a fun matchup here. With that said, I am joined by the one and only Minnie here. Minnie, how's it going?
Hey man, yeah, I'm doing good, and I'm looking forward to today. It's gonna go good. I'm looking forward to it. Get some more Hon action going at it, man. Looking forward to it.
You know, I was actually just watching SolC was playing Willowkeeper here to kind of warm up for this matchup. Now, okay, here I got to catch myself. For those that don't know yet, I mean, it wouldn't be surprising if you don't know yet. By the way, we'll talk about it a little bit later on because they're the later matchup. Tree versus Mint is going to be happening later today, so a rematch. That should be a fun one. But Tree, no longer Tree. They're now known as Bad Monkey Gaming. That is right. BMG picking them up as an organization going into what's going to be the World Finals and continuing on, I'm sure. So congratulations to them for getting a solid sponsorship that's been around the Haunt scene for quite some time now. But a little bit of surprising news there, Minnie.
Yeah, definitely. It's good to see, though. Obviously, BMG is an organisation, a great sort of esports organisation. Good to see that Trio are going to pick up a sponsor as well before the World Finals. So, yeah, looking forward to it. Might even give them a bit more incentive. Obviously, they've got a great incentive to play, but, you know, I mean, maybe it's going to give them a little bit of drive and extra try and make the sponsor worthwhile kind of thing. Yeah, play for a better performance kind of thing.
Well, anyways, enough about that. We got this matchup here to talk about. Again, SolC Esports, it feels like it's been a little bit since we've gotten to see them. Well, that's because it has been. Obviously, they automatically qualified for the World Finals, finishing in that #1 seed in the regular season. They didn't have to participate in the playoffs. So they've had a little bit of time off here. Now, again, they have been scrimmaging here and there, as I just mentioned even before this matchup. SolC Club, on the other hand, we got to see glimpses of this team, specifically in the playoffs. Didn't make it too far, but, hey, had some pretty solid results. And interested to see how they participate here. But no doubt it's good to see SolC once again. And I don't know, what do you think? Do you think SolC Club has any shot here, or is SolC going to be that dominating team as always?
I don't know. I think if SolC are going to pull something out, they need to do something pretty remarkable and pretty different. I'm not saying they can't do it. I'm just saying it's going to be very, very difficult to do it, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting when this draft going off. Insania has literally picked instantly every single second. He knows exactly what he wants, and he's just picked it instantly. It's pretty crazy. But
you know, best of ones are kind of. Look at that.
That's what I mean. He's literally been picking up like
spamming the
instantly.
click. I love it. Well, yeah, I kind of rambled on here. We're done with the draft now, so let's go ahead and take a look. Let's just go over the lineups here. We got Dr. Gauntlet, Swiftblade, Plague Rider, and Nymphora. A very interesting lineup on the side of SolC Club. Gauntlet, a hero we never see too often. Plague Rider, also kind of one of those. What do you like of their chances here?
Yeah, I'm assuming that Plague Rider is going to be a secondary support. I'm assuming, unless because I know Gauntlet is the mid player, or Gistman is the mid player who always likes to play hookers, and then obviously they've got Swiftblade and Dr. Pulsar. I guess they could run second support Swiftblade, but I'm pretty sure he's their suicide player as well. I think Mbenga is the only one who's sort of ringing for him today, and I'm assuming he's playing support, but he's picked up boots already. So I have no idea, to be honest. In terms of the draft, I guess we didn't really get too much time to really think about it, to be fair. Yeah, I mean, I like how they haven't gone like super greedy kind of thing, because I mean, they're going to punish you if in the lanes most likely. They've gone pretty aggressive in terms of like the lanes. Obviously, they've got like Gauntlet, Swiftblade, even Plague Rider, and Dr. Pulsar to an extent are quite useful in lanes earlier on. Because the worst thing that could happen when you go against like a team like SolC, you don't want to get crushed in the first 5 minutes, put simply. So. It's good, and it's the side of SolC. I mean, they've got the Tremble, man. I talked about it time and time again, but you have to ban it. Like, I guess, it opens up another hero that's going to be very hard to deal with. I think the Athelia, they banned the Athelia, but I still think Tremble Wall Beast is a little bit too strong to deal with. Like, I think Athelia is hard to deal with, but I think it's manageable. At the side of Tremble and Wall Beast, I really have no idea or options of how to beat it or how to deal with it, so best ban it out, but let's get through here anyway.
Well, Solera Club gonna have to deal with that here, and we'll see what they do and how they're up to the challenge. But yeah, again, kind of going back to that idea that this is a best out of one format. So like SolC Esports with Insanity right there again, insta picking their hero. So you have a very good idea clearly of going into this match, and that's safe to say. So it looks like we're gonna have a remake here, unfortunately, as Zlapt is having troubles reconnecting into that game right there. But it'll give us a little more time now to talk about, obviously, the draft at hand, now that kind of looking back at it. So, but yeah, Gauntlet, Gauntlet's kind of interesting. I was trying to look at the Hellborn lineup and see if there's anything very specific as to why they would have gone a Gauntlet, but it didn't really seem like it. More so just perhaps comfortable with that hero and, wanted a hook hero, as you pointed out.
I know.
And, that's the one they chose, so.
I know Gisman plays like predominantly hook heroes. He plays like Prisoner really well. He plays obviously like Devour Gauntlet. The only hook hero, or the only non-hook hero that I know he plays very well is Midas. Actually, that was actually banned out in first banning stages. So yeah, just comfort heroes, and when you play against top teams like SolC, you want to make sure that you're on your most comfortable heroes. So makes a lot of sense to me anyway.
It certainly does. All right, it looks like we got a new host up, and hopefully good to go at this one. It looks like the settings are good. Yeah, it is not tournament rules with this host, so I don't know if that's really the biggest deal in the world. Teams trust each other, maybe turn on those add-ons that they have and start getting OP, but no. That's not going to be happening. They're just
CSGO, boys.
Again, guys, so tuning in today here, obviously I got our first matchup, Solera Club versus SolC Esports. Again, best out of one here in the group stages. That's what they're all going to be. But we do have two matches for today, just like on Tuesday. Of course, the later match today, no doubt, again, that's definitely the really intriguing one, I'm sure, for a lot of people. Willowkeeper, now known as Bad Monkey Gaming, they are going to be going up against Fresh, a.k.a. Mint, and definitely some kind of a grudge match there for Mint. Obviously not nearly as much on the line, unfortunately for them, but it's still something. So looking forward to seeing what they bring to the table here and what will be the group stages. So, but yeah, hey, got a feel for Mint, definitely. In fact, I was actually had the chance to tune into Probust's stream, and he was definitely making the point. They were upset, as it's understandable.
Yeah. As you can imagine, man.
There's other events still. So.
I felt so bad for him as well, man. Like, I really did feel for him, especially from what happened last time. I was like, oh, man.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. But it's the best team at the end of the day, and they didn't perform, like, surprisingly, anyway, at the playoffs. So I did not think they would go 3-0, that's for sure, against Tree. That's the biggest surprise to me. Like, Tree just came out to play, and as they did.
I don't think anyone did, so... well, we're still waiting for this game to, again, load in here. You can look at, like I said, you can go to this website yourself, of course, HonTour.com. Turn this on right here. But yeah, HonTour.com, you click on the tab and to get to the Onslaught. Again, this is what the group stages look like, as well as the full schedule, guys, on here for the group stages. Of course, we'll be coming back both Saturday and Sunday. Both of those 4 games on each of those days should be a lot of fun there. But this is how things are looking so far. Of course, Raising Gaming defeating Nullstone Gaming in Group A over there on Tuesday, and then Shrek is Love defeating Team Who. And thus 1-0, or Team Who being 0-1. So there we go. But it looks like we are actually good to go now. And continue on with game number 1 here. Well, what will be the one and only game?
Yeah, just going over the draft quickly. I know we didn't really touch too much on the side of SolC, but like SolC's draft just seems so solid. Like they've just got a lot of stuns, and then they've got their sort of scaling carry in Tremble. It seems so simple, kind of thing, but I think it's just kind of the simplicity which makes it kind of work so well in that respect. Like you compare to Solera Club, like you think about how a team like this is going to go, and I mentioned obviously you want to have hero or players on heroes that they're comfortable with, but in terms of just sort of securing kills and sort of ease of execution, you look at SolC and all they got to do is land their stuns. Like it seems very simple, but it can have a big impact on the thing, and very strong laning phase as well. I'm assuming it's just going to be pretty standard. Obviously, Pebbles, Pyro mid, Solstice in the jungle, Magnus off lane, and Tremble in the top lane. Actually, interesting note though, Case is playing the Tremble though. which forces Flintstone to play Suicide, actually,
Yeah.
which is kind of cool. But
That's
it's just Keizu is very, very comfortable on Tribble. Like, he pretty much, like, this is the signature hero of Keizu, pretty much. He played it back, obviously, when Black Fade was still, like, ages ago. So,
That's classic, yeah.
yeah, and Flintstone, I mean, he hasn't been playing a lot of hard carries recently, so it's just going with,
again,
like, he plays a lot of Kraken and Polywog
Yeah,
and stuff.
Sync's idea, Sync's game plan has never necessarily been hard carry Flintstone.
Yeah.
Let's carry him like a lot of other teams definitely follow up. But really every other top tier team is kind of that idea. You know, they have the hard carry player that plays the hard carry role. Flintmeister, you know, like you said, he plays definitely different ones. And it really does remind me of Stay Green to an extent, too. I know we bring them up a lot, but again, they're the top team, arguably in Han's history. Definitely, I think it's hard to argue at this point, but it's that's the idea that they had, too. The carry player Chessie at the time eventually. Never necessarily the hard carry. But speaking of Flintmeister, he just dodged the Zeal stun, and he does get away in the end. But a lot of pressure early on.
So this is how they're actually running Dr. Jungle. I did not expect this to happen.
Oh my gosh, they are.
I didn't realize. So I was like, oh, how is they going to lane this then? But Playwright is Suicide and Dr. Pulse is actually playing it. He's actually been really unlucky though. He's got this medium camp as Wild Hunter, so obviously you can't get the magnetic contraption used. And this is the right rotation you would use though to when you do Dr. Pulse. Or how random it seems that this is the right rotation of it. If you want to play Dr. Pulse jungle, you start off with the medium camp and try and go from there. But with him having Wild Hunters, it's a little bit unlucky, unfortunately. But
yeah,
trying to make it work anyway.
Funky, man. Yeah, you know, Plague Rider Swiftblade honestly isn't a horrible lane combination. So yeah, wouldn't really been surprised to see Plague Rider go or Swiftblade go top with Swiftblade or Swiftblade go top with Plague Rider than for a Dr. Bottom. But
would have made a lot more sense as well because it would have really shut down the Tremble to an extent as long as they played it right. But now Tremble's going to dominate this lane most likely. Doctor's going to have kind of a hard time in jungle, and obviously leaves mid to be dominated as well. So. Yeah, a little bit strange. They didn't really need to do this, but I guess, you know, maybe this is the thing they think, oh, you know, this might try and catch, you know, sync off guard kind of thing, which can't really.
Again, best of one format, you know, maybe that's the idea. Just...
Who knows, I can't really criticize it in that respect.
I want to say, doesn't Solaire Club, for some reason, I know Sync lost a couple of games early on in the cycles, and to some, you know, some teams that was completely unexpected. Was Solaire Club one of those teams that actually took a game off of him?
There's Rama Rocket.
Was it Rama Rocket? Okay, and yeah, you're right. That sounds more like it was them. But anyways, but yeah, it has happened before, so it's not like we had the question. But yeah, definitely trying something very unique. Like you said, they got a little bit unlucky now. He has a triple stack, but I mean, the electric turret's only going to do so much. Yeah, he's going to have to slowly...
He's going to do Pyro Magnus.
Oh, boy. Magnus coming in with a double damage rune, and Dr. Repulsor just in range. There we go. And a Bloodlust kill just like that. Flensmeister getting credit for it. So, yeah, as soon as they realized it was going to be a Dr. Jungle, they take advantage of it right there.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, what else is there really to say, unfortunately? Like, just if you play like an incredibly greedy jungler like Dr. Pulsar, that's the stuff that can happen. Oh, Gauntlet.
Just, man, trying to get a kill in the middle lane. Hooks in Pyromancer right there. Not going to be enough. Now, Pebbles doing some good counter, but actually, Pebbles may be hanging around a little too long. And then Four all of a sudden joins the party. Gauntlet, though, decided not to use his Power Glove. Infernal instability, and Pebbles will be fine. Probably wouldn't have been enough for a kill. Anyways, so yeah, decides to save the mana and the cooldown. And goes back to it. So, but yeah, Dr. Repulsor is still level 1. He's still level 1 trying to farm this triple stack. I mean, he's not going to be finished with this. He finally hits level 2. That'll help a little bit with the E here, but still, it's going to take some time.
It's kind of like a Legionnaire jungle. Like, normally with Legionnaire, when you actually play Legionnaire, you can't actually go off to a slow start. It's just when you start farming the stacks, that's when the GPM starts rising. And it's going to be the same case here. It's going to take obviously a while to finish off this triple stack, but he'll get through to it eventually. So.
Speaking of a more typical jungler, Solstice at the top lane. Plague Rider's going to end up falling, charged in from the river. Plague Rider just had no clue that's the angle he was going to be coming from, and sure enough, good catch by Slapped right there. Yeah, good job, because you do see the Ward of Sight right here. I mean, Plague Rider's really relying on this Ward of Sight to give him that information, but Slapped kind of picked up on that, being the smart jungler that he is, and went to the area. Well, there wasn't any vision in the river, so well played right there, and that's a dead Plague Rider as a result. You look at Magnus, too. He's pretty much given up at the bottom lane, but understandable. I mean, what can he really do down there? He's just basically playing a harass on Dr. Repulsor, so... Going to continue to box him out. Instead, goes to the middle lane, though, and now Gauntlet in between the two towers gets chucked back in, and most likely going to fall. Goes for the counter kill. Oh, man, if he caught off that auto attack. I don't know. It would have been close, but boy, oh boy, he does not. So in the end, he falls. Top lane once again. Solstice from the river. Plague Runner acted a little early this time, but Keizu had Boris spawn, put out the net, and down goes Plague Runner. Plague Runner not level 6 just yet. And that could have been something big for him, but SolC Esports, safe to say, they got the ball rolling here. They got some good momentum, and that's never a good thing for the opposition.
Yeah. This is just kind of the weakness of Plague Rider. This is why we barely ever see him anymore. Not only because there's a lot of better suicides now to be played, but he's so easy to get dived, as you can see there. When you play him in the sort of solo off-lane kind of thing, he's never going to have any kind of support or rotations from his own team, and so they can just dive him over and over again. He doesn't have an escape mechanism, and he doesn't really have ways to really survive the gank either. He's not tanky enough, so it's the weakness of him.
Look at this. Treble ports in with the mount. So Keizu showing why he was definitely a renowned Treble player in the past, and most certainly still the case here. He just dominates Dr. Repulsor now. He's in a bad spot here, but here comes Mickey. The combo lines it up perfectly. Swiftly coming up with the spin. Down goes Nymphoria. He will pick off Boris, but really not the biggest deal in the world. Pyromancer also joining the party late, but by that time they were already scared off and ran away. So still no hero kills for SolC Club. It looked like they might have been able to get a response, but no, SolC Esports just too much teamwork right there. Moving together as a team, they're together. And now Solstice is even going to overtake the jungle of SolC Club, it looks like, you know, with the assistance of Pyromancer. But you look at even already a couple of mounds now here in the jungle as a result of that movement from Keizu. And using that Boris, man.
Yeah. And this is just something that Sync will do in almost all the games. We haven't really seen them too much, but they're just controlling the jungle. Whenever they have an advantage, they will really try and force it onto the enemy team and try and take sort of liberties at the moment. And the liberty they're taking right now is taking the enemy jungle. And what can SolC Club do? They can't rotate over. Like, Doc's not even level 6, neither is Gauntlet. Obviously, Swiftlet ulti was already used as well. Yeah. And just farming in the jungle is just the ability they do. They've got a nice kind of aggressive ward down here placed by Insania as well. So if they do have like 5 rotate over, you know, they can just simply walk out of the jungle. This now limits where Doctor can farm, and it's just very, very efficient on
now,
the end of the day.
I gotta ask, I mean, this idea of a farming Dr. Repulsor in the jungle has definitely been brought up before, but we've never actually really gotten to see it. Now, obviously, this is definitely not your most best game to really see its power here. Really after a slow start because a little unlucky, but I mean, that is part of it, though, to be fair. Can a jungle Dr. Repulsor actually do big work?
It can, but it has to have the right draft for it, and this just isn't one, really. Not only that, but the reason why Dr. Repulsor works is because it's normally used in TMM, for example, and in TMM, obviously, people don't really capitalize on, obviously, the mistakes earlier on. Like, Doc's jungle is so incredibly weak earlier on, it can't handle any pressure or any rotations from Sync. For example, if Doxa was left untouched, you know, completely had his own way, you know, if he gets level 8, level 9, level 10, like, he can have a big impact in the game, honestly, because it's like a level 10 Doctor. He's got his farm just from the jungle itself, but obviously this is its weakness. It can get that shut down very early on, and there's nothing it can do. It's not like an Ophelia that can pick up like a neutral creep and try and box out any kind of aggression from the enemy team. He doesn't have that kind of luxury, so he's just kind of at the almost like he needs to rely on his team kind of thing, and if they're having bad lanes, which they are, there's not much they can do, unfortunately. But yeah, it can work. It just, like I said, it has to have ways to be supported if in times like this, which it just can't. But I think it can work though, and will we see it? I think we could, but it would have to be on a particular lineup or draft.
Well, you know, let's try to take a look at a little bit of positives here for SolC Club. And that being Swiftplay, Cannon Dwarf down here, the carry player. He's actually had some pretty good time. 334 gold per minute again. Basically been free farming down here. We've seen Magnus constantly roaming around, understandable because of the lane situation for him, and has been very useful elsewhere. But it has allowed, again, Swiftplay to have that free farm. Will he be able to maximize that potential? You know, has the steam boots earlier on. I think it's safe to say perhaps need something like an Energizer to try to get involved earlier on, or more of the static farming around. Okay.
No, he needs to just get involved straight away, because if your team's sort of struggling and sort of suffering, which they are, you need them to get involved straight away, right from the get-go. Oh, top lane.
Yeah, you know, that's a downside of having a pet with you. He's still going to get the kill in the end, though, and he will get away, so very, very close. Good attempt by Plague Rider, but that was also very well played by Case, you know, spreading himself in Boris as soon as the Plague Goo came out. again, we saw an idea of the potential of it right there. Now we do see Dr. Repulsor. He's dropping in the jungle. SolC goes and he gets pulled at the last second. It doesn't matter. He eventually falls. Nymphora also going to get caught out right here as Boris chasing him down. And Nymphora most likely going to fall in the end. There we go. So, yeah, this is the one downsides of not having a tournament rules is you have the pause is not instant. Also, you need to all vote it. You can't just have one person pause the game. So it's a little unfortunate there. I've had a couple of issues with their lag apparently, but yeah, again, Playground are just having to deal with some lag issues. But yeah, that was obviously in the jungle right there. Just good catch onto him once again. SolC using the ultimate initially to help finish off Dr. Repulsor. So yeah, trying to get that good news for the Slayer Club, and again, maybe Swiftplay get the Energizer early on, be somewhat active, get a couple of kills, and get back in the game that way. But
because if your team's sort of struggling, which obviously they are, like you have to get involved because you're probably the person with the most amount of farm, the most amount of sort of influence and impact you can have in the game. And just AFK farming, like with like a rune cleaver, for example, just won't have any impact. Like your team's it's only going to do worse if you do that. If you get involved, then perhaps there's a chance for a comeback. But so I expect that to happen. Really, you just need to get involved if you can. Go from there.
Yeah,
that's their only hope. And like Swiftplay is actually really strong if he tries to fight earlier on because of that magic community. Like if you look at Sync's drafted, they're all very, very much magic heavy until late game where Tremble can start becoming like a right-click threat. But obviously the Pebble stun, Magma stun, SolC stun, even Pyro stun is obviously all can be blocked by the Blade Frenzy from some Swiftblade. So kind of the best hero to really get involved earlier on.
Boris harassing Gauntlet right here in the middle lane again. Boris is not he's not the easiest to kill either. He's got some good armor, it's a 800 life, and earlier on in the game that really could be very difficult to deal with. So it's just going to constantly be a nuisance. And gotta give credit to KZ once again doing a good job of the micromanagement here of. Now, currently still sitting at the top lane because they're trying to go on a Gauntlet. Bubble goes in. Here's the turn kill from Gauntlet. Not going to happen, though. And they will end up picking up the kill. No! Down goes Pebbles as Dr. Repulsor comes in to clean him up. Well played right there by Doctor, at least coming the last second. And actually making it fall first. Actually, Tremble ports in, but that might not have been the best decision on his part. Now, Playground goes to party, and there you get some revenge from earlier. Down goes KZ. So that's, well, there's a start here for Slayer Club. A couple of mistakes here from Sync, maybe diving too much and capitalizing on it. Hey, that's going to be your window, if anything.
Yep, definitely. Just good rotation as well from him and Pengu. And now that's level 6 though as well, and so that's where he can actually kind of have a presence in the game because he can set up kills, for example. He might even look to go bottom perhaps, or just continue to farm. But yeah, at least he has ways of getting out of any kind of bad situations because he's got the ultimate, so pretty useful. If they can get Nymphora level 6 as well, then they might have a like global presence as well.
Yeah. Yeah, you do see right here again. He gets the stacks going, and a little bit of assistance from Nymphora, and he farmed very well. Nymphora runs right into Solstice and Magnus as the roam again. Doctor's like, you don't have any more stuns. Yes, you do. The ultimate from Solstice comes out being nighttime after all, and he will end up falling. I like the attempt right there. Probably was his only chance anyways, but Zlap's picked up on that pretty quickly on how to react and popped his Lunar Judgment for the kill. So well played right there, and just when you get a little bit of signs of life for Slayer Club, Sync Esports just puts their boot on the throat once again and makes it difficult to breathe for them. So Solstice is now aggressively in the jungle like he has been several times. I keep looking back at Swiftblade and seeing the progression that he has. Courier was just here, I guess. Still doesn't have too much on him. He's definitely bought something, I would believe. Not sure what yet though. Oh, the Courier! Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, you got to be a little careful, especially in cases like this. Sending it more along the downside down here along the trees, so a little bit smarter in situations like that, rather than just down the lane like it was, or it can get picked up pretty easily. No, nothing was on it. Nothing was on it.
Ah, okay.
Not really lost in that sense. Middle lane in the meantime, though, they get the kill on a Pyromancer. Deny on the tower. On top of that, will this be big? Plague comes out, only bounces once, though. Magnus Eruption in the background. Gauntlet still chasing down Pebbles. Eruption not doing a whole lot of damage, but enough to finish off Dr. Repulsor. Pebbles, still, though, he is in trouble. Swift Slash is cutting through Magnus. Magnus does it at falling, actually, but so does Gauntlet in response. So Ganondorf able to get a little bit involved here. However, he needs to be careful now. Plague Gunner nearby can't help much, though. Stun does land. And now Swiftblade, he really has nothing he can do. He has a mana battery on him. Seal Stun, not enough. As a Chuck does him in. And I don't know what Plague Gunner's thinking right here. He's just diving after Pebbles. That was really silly, honestly. Even Finger ends up going down. Hail Mary chucks us. Get in there, Pyromancer. Down and goes in for with the Blazing Strike. Dr. Pulse, though, he will get a turn kill. Solstice, the quick Lunar Judgment. Minimal damage from that as a result. And I don't even know if it hit, actually. I think Doctor might have even avoided it.
I think he dodged it. Yeah, I think it's
so, really does get away, though. But look at that double portal key purchase, though, by SolC Esports when it's all said and done after that fight. On Pebbles and Solstice, so.
Yeah, it's something that Slaps really likes to do, actually, and I can't really criticize it. It works so well, it allows them to get really active, and when it's daylight as well, it's one of the best stuns, honestly. I think it's like 2.5 second stun in daytime, and obviously it's AoE as well. If you it's kind of like a line stun, similar to Magnus, and has great purposes for catching as well. So, and they might even use it here down bottom.
Yeah, it's safe to say this has not been a farming game for SolC Esports, as it usually isn't. More the active game. Now, Swiftplay, good reaction right there.
Yeah.
As he probably should have waited for Pebbles to go in first.
Yeah. Yep.
Not having the stun. Look at Pebbles. So Mickey's like, you know, I'm still going to keep you. He just chucks it to the mound right there. That's already clever. Using the mound actually as a target for the chuck.
I think he just targeted himself. But.
Anyways, he jumps back in as Dr. Impulsor. You got the help now. Here comes Tremble. Doctor trying to get away. You barely will survive. Plague Hunter will as well. I don't know how no one has died yet. I don't think that's going to last too long, though. Yeah, Tremble dives him fully. Down goes Doctor. The chase on a Plague Hunter. One more auto attack just out of range, but the stun will do him in. And now Swiftblade. He can't do much else himself. He ends up going down on top of that. So they just dove the tower for a good 20 to 30 seconds, it felt like, and they end up getting the kill. Pyromancer, though, Insania, being the heavyweight as usual. Falls once again, no, but he goes down, gets caught out, but they get a quick revenge onto the opposition support. So, SolC 22-7 hero kill lead now, 12.5 minutes in, and you know, seeing SolC Esports like this again. This is a team that has been a little bit haven't played lately because of not being in the playoffs, automatically qualifying once again. But you know, really showing you that hey, they're here still to compete, and even though this tournament isn't the biggest prize pool or anything like that, they're if anything, using it as very good practice. And even though this is a team that's not necessarily the top tier team in Solaire Club, they're just like, you know what? Yeah, you're playing us. We're going to play our game. And you better be ready to play against it, no matter who you are. So, got to respect them for that, at least.
Yeah, they've got Thailand, obviously, in the next couple of weeks. So, everything's got to be full steam if they want to take it. I mean, I'm assuming they're going to be, I think they're the favourites going into it, to be fair. I mean, I've watched a couple of Thailand teams, but I still think SolC will be the #1 favourites going into it, so they've got to do it justice, you know.
Interesting play, you're right there. Actually, still bouncing. Tremble will fall. He got some pretty lucky bounces there in the end. It seemed like it went a little further than it usually does. And ends up killing him right there. Look at this, though. SolC Esports using the observatory for some quick regen, especially on a Solstice right there, and they're thinking about going back in. Now, again, it's still nighttime technically for him, so doesn't have that Q stun right now, but he does have the ultimate stun. Colin hooks in, not the target he was looking for, though, I'm pretty sure. And he ends up going down in the background. Infora, Plague Hunter will fall, and Infora also in trouble as Pebbles jumped in initially. They're going for more. Down goes Infora. Spin from the swim play will kill Solstice. So again, obviously, SolC Esports having a little bit of fun with the now as Flensmeister will stun away, but unfortunately the tower doing a little too much damage right there. But they can afford a couple of overplays here, and hey, even with the extensions, they're still going to come out on top as Pebbles finishes the job on the new McNoob right there. And now Swiftblade, you're dead again, unfortunately, as the buybacks happen. Double tap for Mick, and I think that 15-minute mark is going to be the possible end of this game here. SolC is just doing it in here.
I'd assume so. Oh, Doctor.
Signs trying to make. Oh, that's awkward. He goes on the cliff right there. He's still flying around, though. Not the most mana, though, unfortunately. Stun coming out from Pebbles. They will both fall. Solstice does fall himself. But again, Infora in the background goes down. So really not much else to say on this game then. It's that overtime state already. Not even 15 minutes in. We're basically at the point of clearly the team's kind of just having fun with it right now. But SolC is definitely going to pull through the victory here. So coming in, taking care of business pretty quickly, and going to be good going into the weekend at a 1-0 record here in Group A at this point. So again, Group A considered the group of death here in this only 2-group event, but you got SolC Esports as well as Reason Gaming and Nullstone Gaming, and then a Solaire Club, of course. So weekend's going to be a fun set of matches there between the trio of those teams, especially. Nothing against Solaire Club, but they need a little bit more practice. And as you pointed out, they weren't necessarily playing with their full 5-man roster either. So
Yeah, they're playing with Imbapenko, which is probably heavily drawing them back, you know. Joking. I don't think it's good guy.
Ouch. You know a hero I actually, it's kind of a side story here. This is just one of those games, though. I've been playing a little bit of TMM here, you know, doing my carry thing up in the 2000s bracket. And been playing a hero that I never really played too much before, but SolC. I've been playing a little bit of SolC lately. I'm enjoying the hero more and more I play it. I'm finding it to be pretty fun.
Really good.
I'm not only playing her support, but even more of the suicide SolC I've found myself playing a couple times. And
she's okay suicide. The one issue is that you pick up dust against her in suicide. She's just even more vulnerable than a plague rider. Which is the one issue, really. Unless you have like really good positioning and you can't get picked off regardless. She does have difficulties. I think in the second support role, I think she's really, really good and can work very well. The one issue is, you know, her laning phase, which can get a little bit punished if not careful. But I mean, I think she's a really good pickup though, and I think teams should definitely try and play her. Like, for example, I think the perfect lineup would be, for example, you know, the enemy teams picks up a passive jungler like a Tempest or even like a Legionnaire, and you can get away with like a greedy second support like SolC because there's no way they can punish it in the laning phase. And then, you know, maybe like a tree thing, you know, maybe like I'd like to see maybe a Fruit of Z could maybe pick up, perhaps, you know, give him some bit of farm here and there, get him some levels, and I could imagine him making big plays.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
It's also kind of a counter pick in a lot of cases too. Not only for a counter carry pick, where you know if they're going to be getting a late game carry that perhaps in the late game stage she's arguably the best support to have because of her ultimate. But good against, you know, big team fight, big ultimate heroes as well, like a Tempest or you know, a Behemoth, you know, things like that. That you know, you take them over in the midst of a team fight, all of a sudden you catch them off guard with their own ultimate.
And normally, when you play SolC as well, like before you hit level 16, when you have only rank 1, rank 2 ultimates, actually it's a lot more smart, or a lot more logical to actually pick up those team fight control heroes like Tempest, for example, because obviously SolC's ultimate actually scales in terms of damage done. So obviously, if you pick up a hard carry at level 6, like, you know, the damage done is actually quite minimal, but the 4-second Tempest ultimate will still be the same regardless of damage. So in that respect, it makes a lot more sense to pick up the team fight sort of controllers in the lower levels than SolC, which is a kind of interesting thing to know about the hero. But
yeah. And also just the illusions. You know they're so annoying to play against, and the illusions are obviously just... I just love knowing that they're getting so frustrated. And like when somebody uses a big ultimate on one of your illusions, you're like, ha! Noob.
But like... talking of actually that, like, Tree could make a strategy about it though, because like they could easily like abuse, like, because they always play a lot of Legionnaire, for example. Like, you could easily like make a lot of legions of the Legionnaire, farm the enemy jungle, push out lanes, for example, very effectively without having any kind of risk, for example. Man, I'm going to talk to Fusion about it. I need to pick up SolC. Makes so much sense.
Others just went into we got to talk to BMG now, our former Willow Keeper here, as far as their strat goes now. I love it. By the way, back to this game here again. There is still a game going after all. Pebbles, he will end up falling, but he did go to Staff of the Master, as you see, so yeah, a little bit of troll there. But Pebble, Staff of the Master, awesome item, man. That group chuck ability, even using it right there to help kill off Nymphora. Pretty fun stuff, and hey, I still think back that I really wish like that we just had a highlight of that clip. There's a one game at the GSL event we first went to. One of these two Asian teams, all these Asian teams, like no clue who they were. We just happened to jump into it. It was like 50 minutes in, and we see a Staff of the Master Pebbles, and like literally within that next minute, he has this huge team fight where actually it was a Restoration Zone Staff of the Master, and he just did a double group chuck. He wrecked their team. It was a thing of beauty. To watch, so it's a fun item, but yeah, I think it's safe to say it's a more serious game.
I don't know, man. Like, I think it has a time and a place, honestly. Like, if you're playing with a Tempest, for example, like group chuck into a Tempest ultimate, for example, I don't know. I think there might be a place in it. Like, it's good for like the big play, for example, but obviously if you don't make that big play, then it's kind of a worthless item kind of thing.
Yeah.
The biggest thing about it is that you can group chuck into like an AoE stun from the stalagmites kind of thing, and if you don't hit that, then it's not worth it. But if you can, then not only does it look pretty, but I think it's quite effective as well.
Look at the spread here from Sync Esports, even with them so far ahead, and again pushing in. They're not gonna have the throws happen. They're gonna still make sure they're prepared for any strong initiation from the Legion side. You see the hook attempt by KZ ready for that, and easy sidestep, and we'll get out of the way. He's just gonna kill the melee racks, and apparently Solar Club not gonna really do too much about it. I mean, not a whole lot they can do, but that That awkward situation of, well, you just give this up. I mean, why are you even hanging in here is the question. But it's what's going to happen as it goes down. Obviously, there's a token of life on Tremble. I don't know if we mentioned that yet, but 2.5 minutes now remaining. So definitely making the decision a little more difficult as far as wanting to try to stop them here. But, well, they're going to kill both of the racks with really basically no resistance right there. Just a couple of hook attempts that missed, and other than that, not a whole lot put out. So I think we'll take it. They're going to move their way towards bottom now and try to do the same thing. It's one thing to give up one set of racks, but 2 set of racks, you probably want to at least try something crazy to defend right here. But be a little bit of time, about 2 minutes now remaining on that token. Just going to beat away at the tower. See SolC Club. Gonna farm creeps elsewhere. You did see a Swiftblade. He did actually go the Abyssal Skull, and now does finish an Energizer here on top of that. So, not gonna sit here and say if you Energizer this game would be completely different off the bat, but at least something to note there on this lead side. There we go. He hits one hook right here. Tremble gets pulled in. A lot of burst damage. Not enough for the kill initially. Finally goes down, but the token of life goes right back up. And meanwhile, the rest of his team has fallen to pieces. Swift slashes bouncing around. Not the most damage though. Especially with this build for the time being. The group chuck comes out, chucks his teammates in the background. Swiftly going to be picked off, and if it wasn't over already, I think it is going to be over here. GG, well played's being called, and yep, Sync Esports just coming in, cleaning up, and leaving quickly here. And are going to be 1-0 here in Group A play for the Onslaught tournament going into the weekend. So congratulations to them. A good game from them. Definitely solid to see, and obviously for SolC Club, you know, hey, it was a tough opponent, the toughest opponent in the Onslaught, you can safely say, to go up against, especially for first round. And unfortunately, they fell short of the challenge. But looking forward to see how they do against both Nilsson and Reason Gaming. You know, perhaps things go their way in a best-of-1 series. You never know. You never know what can happen. But
definitely, and taking a game off Reason or Nilsson, that could really sort of throw off who's going to go into, obviously, the next stage of the tournament. So,
yeah,
be important.
Well, not much else to say about that game right there. You know, pretty much talked about as the game was wrapping up. So because of a little bit quicker of a finish here, we have a little bit of a break, unfortunately, about 20 minutes or so. But these games usually are pretty good at getting started pretty much on time here. So hopefully not too long here, but it will be probably around 20 minutes. The default time is set for 4 p.m. Eastern, 2200 Central European time. So that game, though, now that one, I think we should expect a little bit more of an even game, if anything. It's definitely a good series, and we gonna check out officially the new Bad Monkey Gaming team, formerly known as Willowkeeper, now known as BMG. They're going to be going up against Fresh, aka Mint, the team that they defeated 3 games to nothing, earning them a trip to Thailand. Talk about a grudge match, man. That should be some good fun right there. So
definitely.
What do you think we're going to see here? Anything too crazy? I mean, it is a best out of 1. Something tells me there's going to be some funky pick that's going to throw us off.
I think if it's going to be from anyone, I think I'm actually, I would say normally from Tree, but I think Mint had something up their sleeve that they didn't pull out of the playoffs because it was a 3-0 series kind of thing. So I'm expecting something big from Mint because I mean, just getting that Thailand taken away from you, man, you just. You're playing for a bit of revenge, without a doubt. Yeah. A bit of vengeance. So.
We'll see. We'll see what they bring to the table. So again, guys, we are going to go to a little bit of a break here, unfortunately, about 20 minutes or so. Grab a drink, grab a snack or whatever. But we will be back with what should definitely be a good series to close out the day. And of Willowkeeper, now known as Bad Monkey Gaming. It's always fun when a team changes their name like that. Especially knowing them for so long or something. But anyways, that team versus Fresh going to be happening in about 20 minutes from now. So stay tuned, guys. We'll be back.